Hey, Happy New Year, staff. As we all know, it's been really challenging adjusting to these new teaching parameters and platforms. But one thing I can say for sure is that you guys are doing a great job of adapting and adjusting to enhance your lessons. So the lessons I was seeing in September do not even come close to what I'm seeing now. And that's partly because you guys do a great job collaborating and sharing your ideas. One lesson in particular that really stuck out for me was Veronica Reese's lesson on the Mayan, Aztec, and Incan empires. She created a digital notebook with tabs for each empire, similar to this, but in a digital format. Again, all digital, so the students were able to access it in their Chromebooks. They're able to add their own personal notes. They could upload pictures and anything that was relevant to them, so they could make these notes their own. And again, they were fully engaged. So kudos to you, Mrs. Reese.
The first person I'd like to give a shout out to, it's his first year here at Salem High School, and that is Mr. Spencer Garcia. What impressed me so much during an observation about Mr. Garcia, it was a day or two after we had done the Monday professional learning series on opportunities to respond. And I went into his classroom to do the observation. It was a 45-minute observation. And it was constant. He was constantly offering his students opportunities to respond to questions, give input. And after the observation, I went back and I did a few calculations, and it came out to Mr. Garcia was offering his students the opportunity to respond every 4 minutes. So huge shout out to superstar Mr. Spencer Garcia.
My first shout out goes to our school counselors for implementing innovative practices to pre-register our students for the 21-22 school year. Catherine Kressel took the lead on creating a Google form with all of our course offerings. Those results provided counselors with the information needed to have purposeful and insightful conversations with our students during their personalized registration meetings via Zoom. Great job, counselors, for keeping connected with our students and supporting them as they attain their academic goals through course selections.
And the next person that I would like to talk about and give a big shout out to is the incredible Arian Parsons and the work that she's been doing with the Algebra 1 PLC since we've gone virtual has been incredible, seeking opportunities for not only her own PLC to grow, but inviting all of the other math teachers to attend Algebra 1 PLCs for some, what I like to call for teacher, by teacher, professional learning series. A sampling, Jessica Carlson taught the PLC what she knows about Desmos. Meg Sloan taught the math teachers about Securely. We've invited folks in from TNL, just doing an amazing job.
My next shout out goes to the Visual Arts Department. From Amanda Smith's Arts Foundation Gen Z Virtual Reality Art Exhibition to Aaron Richburg's Digital Painting Design Challenge, and we can't forget Melissa Chappelle having art-concentrated colleges and universities visiting her classes to provide opportunities for our seniors.
Something else I saw that I absolutely thought was great was just students presenting information, really students acting as the teacher and the teacher really kind of stepping back and almost in some ways acting as a student and prompting with questions that a student might ask, but that the student then had to answer as if they were the teacher. And so I saw a great example of this in driver's ed where students were allowed to present, so they were given full control over the Zoom room to present a project, which I thought at first like, whoa, is this going to happen? But the teacher has set rules and expectations and norms where she has the trust in her students like that, and the students trust the teacher, and that's that mutual bond of community that allows her to feel comfortable with doing that. And it was fantastic because then you had kids come up and they're talking about vehicle malfunctions. And so, what would I do if I was driving my car and my brakes stopped? And how do I do that safely? What do I do afterwards? And all of those things I thought were just incredible. And it was the kids presenting and driving that information and telling each other and talking about it and sharing experiences. And it really was an impactful lesson, and it was a powerful lesson.
The next shout out goes to the music department for their collaborative spirit. Even though our classes may look different, there is plenty of music to be heard and enjoyed. From Rick Kalinowskis bringing in Broadway musicians to work alongside our students, to Corbin Pinto's virtual caroling, and Andrew Smith students composing music, and don't forget Lynn German's chorus karate. Our students are being provided virtual opportunities to express themselves through music. Thanks for a job well done, and be on the lookout for upcoming virtual performances.
Third and final person that I work with, and that's Miss Heather Williams. So Heather is going to be presenting to all of the math teachers on Jamboards, and fortunately I get to sit in all of these PLCs, and so when I hear things that math or science teachers say, I'm able to give input about, oh, you know who's really good about that? Well, Heather Williams is really good at making Jamboards, so I told the math teachers, you guys need to invite her in. So Heather's going to do a presentation for all of the math teachers on how to make a Jamboard. And I also recently observed one of her classes, and I could not believe the student-to-student interaction in that class. It was, quite frankly, the highest level of student-to-student interaction I've seen in the virtual setting. And after the observation, I asked her, what's your secret? I have to know your secret. How are you getting those kids to interact with each other so much? And Heather said, you know, Jennifer, I think it's because I let those kids pick their own groups. And, you know, I'm really proud of her for being able to let go of some of that control and saying, okay, yeah, I'm going to let the kids pick their groups. And it's been amazing. And the level of student-to-student interaction is proof to show how important letting go of a little bit of our control is, particularly in this virtual realm. But quite frankly, I think it's more than letting her students choose their own groups. She works so hard to front load everything, and she's an amazing chemistry PLC lead, and she just works so hard, and she would never say that about herself, though.
The next shout out goes to Katie Flynn and Ashley Whitlinger for engaging our students in the art of dance. If you log into one of their Zoom classes, you will see our students, along with Katie and Ashley, moving and dancing. Sometimes you may even catch them with using household items as their partners. As a result of their creativity, the art of movement continues to grow here at Salem High School.
For me, the things that really drive me are seeing students take the lead and seeing the teacher kind of slide back in that facilitation role, because we know that peer learning has a great effect size on students. And so some of the things I've seen with that is I've watched students debate an incredible conversation about some very controversial topics like the death penalty, but were handled in a way where both, you know, social awareness and responsible decision making and self-awareness were all kind of at the core. And so you saw the castle competencies of the social emotional learning really kind of woven into the content. And it was just amazing to watch and listen to some of our students and how aware they were of what taking a certain position would mean in our society and how that could affect them. And that was amazing to me to see.
My final shout out goes to the theater department. From Chris DeVote's 2 virtual performances to Sharon Bird's collaboration with Bayside Elementary with our Academy Children's Theater Company, to students finding their voice in Paige Burwell's Introduction to Theater class, our students are performing. Even though the experiences may not be traditional or on the main stage, our theater department has been creative in making opportunities available for our students to follow their passion. Thank you to all of my staff for keeping the arts alive with integrity during these times.
Lastly, probably my other favorite thing I've seen this year is those of you who have kept it light, because I think we all needed to keep it a little light at some point in this, you know, crazy last nine or so months we've had. Picture is worth 1,000 words, but a meme is worth 1,000,000. And so I've loved, you know, seeing memes in some of the presentations, seeing things that are interesting to the kids, finding ways to engage the kids. So you tie your content to what it is their interests are, and all of a sudden, you know, you infuse that in a point in your lesson that might not have been the most exciting point, but you've all of a sudden got them again for another second, and it's just this kind of way you're riding on the roller coaster of your lesson, and you're just finding new ways to get to those high points. And I think you know, lightness and humor are a great way to do that, and I've seen some great examples of it this year. So those are the things that I've loved.